Alright, hello everyone, my name is Shep, welcome back to the Butcher's Circus, and today we have a very special matchup. We have Kalashnikov against Kalashnikov. So I was just messaging Saturn and I was like, you know what would be fun? Remember that meme from the previous tournament where one of the players bans Kalashnikov and then both of them, one of the players bans the Flatulent and then both of them play the Kalashnikov comp. And I thought, you know what, let's do that, let's have some fun with that, let's both play the most aggressive stress team in the Butcher Circus, and that is where we are. Now, I'm a little bit surprised that Saturn went for a bolster first, because that's what he did, and I do have the extra dodge, so that is pretty good for me. I wonder if I should bolster as well, or if I should drop a command round one. But I'm gonna drop a bolster here because I think I'm really gonna benefit from the lack of accuracy that they have right now. At least I hope so. At least I do hope so. So what is the Kalashnikov comp if you're a bit clueless here? Well, it is a team that is about to get abused because I may have misplayed this quite terribly. I thought slamming the Abomination would have been better. What was I thinking? I wasn't thinking. I misplayed out the wazoo right now. I was just focusing on commentating and I did a terrible misplay. You should not slam the Abomination. That is the one character I shouldn't have slammed because now he can de-transform and use Beast Spile, which he definitely wants. I can also do that, but my occultist is also in position 1, which sucks, obviously. I should not be in position 1 here. Well, in that case, I'm just gonna drop Weakening Curses on the enemy occultist just to try and knock him out like this. Of course, he's gonna have a way better time dropping Abyssal Artilleries. Really no point moving back either, because then there's just Demon's Pull and things don't work out too well for me. Sadly here, I'm also gonna have to hit into the Repulse, so that's unfortunate, but I'll hit into the Repulse, then I'll go for the Bellow and things will be okay. Finally, my opponent gets a crit. I had gotten 2 crits already, so that was a bit rough, though that is a lot of extra damage, so I really have to drop the Bellow here unless I want to eat a huge repulse right now. The match might be going just a little bit slow, but trust me that in like 2 turns, all of our characters will be dying. That is how this matchup goes. That is absolutely how it goes. Just gonna be Bellows and Harrys and occultist MVP stuff going freaking everywhere, and the Abominations also just spamming horror whenever they can. It is really a fun matchup having Kalashnikov against Kalashnikov, though I will say I will likely lose this because of how the match is going so far. I did get a little bit lucky against the enemy Hanseri though, because he didn't have a lot of accuracy. Is this a desync? Why is it taking so long? Oh, please not a desync. Yeah, this is taking a minute, says Saturn. I think it's a desync. Let's skip a bit. Yeah, it was indeed a desync, but let's just give this a rematch. And yes, it was indeed a desync, but here we go for a match number 2, and this time I actually get to go first, so I will be able to take advantage of that if I want to, which I definitely will. Now that I'm actually with my head in the game, I'm gonna go for a slam on the Men-at-Arms and fail the 75. I actually don't. Well, I get to do a slam here, and now this occultist is already at risk of being pulled into position 1, which with the Abomination here, he would be able to be Spile instead of just going for stun, so that's actually not too terrible. Is this really the first time I've played Kalashnikov versus Kalashnikov? It might just be. It is definitely a pretty fun matchup, but he's gonna go for the Demon's Pull immediately, which is a touch surprising, just a touch. Well, now I have to make a decision. I definitely have to make a decision. I'm gonna decide on the Demon's Pull on the Occultist. That is a very nice crit. I'm getting very lucky with the crits today. But yeah, the reason I'm deciding this is because if the Abomination wants to disrupt me, he'll have to go through 65 move rest, so it is pretty unlikely for that to work. I'd say he'd be better off going for a Rage, which he does actually, and it hurts me a fair bit. I'm already at this store after a Hanseri, so that is actually pretty freaking rough that I'm at this store. I'm just gonna drop a command buff here and I'm just gonna chill. One sad thing about the Kalashnikov occultist is that he does have the Stygian Embrace, which, you know, you can run the weirder construction if you want instead, but this team just wants to be as aggressive as possible, so bringing a stress heal bringing a self-heal when you could bring a heal that also does stress, you know, the choice is obvious. You go for the maximum amount of stress output. I'm gonna drop the Hanseri here, they will also drop the Hanseri, and I will be dropped to this store after that. but I'll be able to go for a final Demon Spell if I really want to. Probably on the Man at Arms, then the Abomination would be the third. Do I really care too much about that? I don't know. He'll be able to de-transform and then slam again. I'm not sure. Damn, it says Saturn. Was it another desync? Hell no. Alright, and here we go for the final match, and this time it should work at long last. And actually Saturn goes for the transform slam on the Abomination, which is interesting because that's what I did round 1. And we noticed that it wasn't really a smart move, and oh my god, is that 3 crit slams in a row? Is that 3 crit slams? If it isn't, then I'm sure I still got a lot of crits. The reason it's so OP is that after you get a crit you do more damage, so you're able to just spam it if you want. And my opponent here is going to go for the Abyss Artillery, which does not hit my doggy, which is pretty good. They didn't drop the command buff and they are suffering for it, so I'm going to make them suffer even more. I'm going to go for the bolster here, so I'll have a lot of dodge on my backline and things will be great. I will say this is a complete mirror matchup, apart from one thing, which is the Occultist actually having Hand of Glory, which is very interesting. And now Saturn is deciding to guard this Occultist, which is also very interesting. I personally don't think that's a good move. I don't think, wow, I don't think a guard here would help very much, but let me be honest with you, I don't think anything would help very much if I keep getting crits like this. I did not drop a command buff. Why am I getting so many crits? Why don't I get this amount of crits when I play the tournaments? I wonder. Well, I got hit with a crit myself, but you know, it was just 1, it wasn't 2, and now I can drop Abyss Artillery, and they're both taking just as much stress as they would be without a guard. So guarding with the doggy is one thing, guarding with the Men at Arms in this sort of situation, sure, it's going to prevent a disruption, but I don't think it's really gonna save my opponent, because it's round 2 and you can see just how crazy it's going already, because there's gonna be a de-transform bile, so the doggy is gonna be eating essentially 2 biles at once, and things are gonna be getting very, very rough for my opponent here. I will say, big mistake slamming the Abomination. I will know that now. Towards the future, that you should not be doing that, because it just gives me full potential to go ahead and drop the B-Spile after, which is exactly what I want. The reason you put the Abomination in position 1 is because, well, you need to have a backline, and you kind of want to have them in the backline. They're both pretty squishy. If this is another desync, I'm just gonna play with someone else. I do believe it is, though I will say this match was probably over already, but let's go on and play with someone else. Alright, and you know, sometimes the Ringmommy just decides that today is not the day, so we're not going to be playing against Saturn anymore. I just went into the ladder and we're fighting none other than Moo Goblin, which is a person that quite likes playing with flagellants, and I can tell you one thing, the Kalashnikov does not like facing flagellants, so we're already off to a pretty rough start, to say the very least, but we're gonna try to make the best of it. I'm gonna transform, I'm gonna go for a slam here on the flagellant, maybe get the lucky push, which I do not get a 60% push. And let me be honest, this is a surrender turn. This is definitely a surrender turn. Because even if I kill every single other character that Moo Goblin has here, I still have to deal with the Flagellant, which is so unbelievably difficult for the Kalashnikov. One thing I have been doing is replacing the Carnival Mask and the Eerie Eye with just a Repulse setup, so you bring Spiked Shield and the... what do you call it? You bring Spiked Shield and the Insignia of Rank, and you just bring a Repulse instead of a card. It definitely works a hell of a lot better against Flagellants, so I just decided not to bring it today for... I don't know exactly why I decided that. But, well, one thing that is in my favor is that the Flagellant does not have Reign of Sorrows. If it was Reign of Sorrows, I would have definitely surrendered immediately, because all that my opponent has to do is just, like, use it twice and my backline is dead already. Hopefully that's not a huge crit that makes me suffer massively. Yeah, I jinxed it. I'm gonna go for the Abyss Artillery though. Hopefully I do get the hit here. I do, that's a pretty nice hit on the Grave Robber. I like it. It's a lot of stress being dealt too, so I will be able to deal with her, but... I'm hoping that the Crown of Thorns makes this Flagellant take a little bit too much damage, and I can win off of that. That is exactly what I'm hoping for. It's gonna be difficult, but it is a possibility. Here we go for the Hansari. Oh, why do I miss? Oh, why do I miss? I mean, sure, she has 54 dodge, but I really need to be getting hits and crits here, or else things are not going to be working out for me. Yeah, they definitely won't. But I'm gonna transform and stun the abomination after this. Definitely not click the doggy. Then it's gonna be another Abyssal Artillery, and with the next Abyssal Artillery, things are gonna be just fine. I think that Mughal in here should definitely bolster. There's really no reason not to when you have this much dodge on the Grave Robber and you are facing a stress team. I think that would be perfectly okay here. But he's thinking otherwise. What is he thinking of? Is he thinking of passing? Is my internet that bad that we are actually gonna have a desync here? Well, it would be advantageous for me because I am losing, but this does not... Well, this definitely looks like a desync. That is odd. That is odd. My internet does not want me to play today. Oh, that is really unfortunate. How the hell are we gonna do this then? How do I make a video if my internet is just being very silly? Well, we'll see in the next match. Alright, and here we go for, I think, our 5th attempt of actually having a full finished match, and this time we're playing against Starmaker. I have not played against this person before, but it looks like they have the girls' Blightout team, isn't it? Or would that be with the Shieldbreaker? I think that would be with the Shieldbreaker, though it is a girls' team for sure. It's 4 girls against 4 boys, actually. This is the boys versus girls matchup, I suppose. But it's going to be a lot of raw stress output from them into a lot of raw stress output from us, so hopefully we can make that work in our advantage. Well, I'm going to give the Hellion treatment, and I'm going to slam her and fail immediately. Okay, the 85. Well, it looks like I have not given the Hellion treatment. I could have dropped the command buff, but honestly, I think just dropping the bolster there would have been smarter, so that is exactly what I did. But I am regretting my decisions already, because this Hound Zeri is gonna miss everything. Oh, I actually get 3 hits. And okay, that's pretty good. That's actually quite helpful. But is it enough, though? Is it enough, not having pushed that Hellion? Yeah, we'll have to see. Here comes the panic darts onto our poor little doggy. He looks like he's the target at this point. I think the occultist is honestly a better target. That if my opponents just want to go for the doggy, then so be it. I could have definitely gone for a pull there on the Plague Doctor. That might have been a better play just to prevent blinding gas, but I did not do that. I'm gonna go for another yelp here, and oh my god, my accuracy, my accuracy right now. I want to go for a stun, but I do not have the accuracy to do so. I should just go for the pull here on the Plague Doctor, right? Yeah, let's go ahead and drop a pull on her. I think preventing more blinding gas is smarter, because this is just way too much stress output. I mean, sure, it's likely to miss, but that would be that would be a bit too much. Yeah, just a bit too much. She doesn't have pick to the face, and she doesn't have wow, and she doesn't have incision. But who cares if you can just bring my doggy right back down to 0 like that? Damn, it puts the Grave Robber in a weird spot, though, I will say, but I just have to heal myself here. Crit 28 lunge. This match is not going well for me, but I think the Kalashnikov comp will withstand. I think it can take a little bit of stress, it can take a little bit of punishment on the doggy, and it will still be able to survive, because the stress is being output right now. Or at least, you know, I'm trying to have it out, but I'm kind of missing a few of my abilities, and also not being able to drop the rest. I could drop a Repulse here, but let's be honest, it doesn't work against Yelp, and she's probably not even gonna drop Festering Papers, so who cares, right? I'm just gonna drop the command buff instead, so I can actually hit the enemy characters. And I want to go for a stun on the Grave Robber, though, since she did just get a crit. It's... wait, how does she have 20? Oh, is it because of the Invigorating Vapors? Yeah, it must be. So she has 20 dodge from the Invigorating Vapors, and she also has an extra dodge from the crit, and I cannot believe that it's going to be another desync. Please, it's the Butcher Circus, it's not my internet. I have good internet, I do not get it. I genuinely don't get it, but it is going to be yet another desync for the Shepherd Doggy, and I have to apologize for today's video. I just wanted to play the Kalashnikov comp and have fun. This is literally what I do when I'm feeling a little bit down, or when I don't feel like playing any of all the other more refined teams. I just whip out the Kalashnikov and I have lots and lots of fun just spamming stress output, you know. Don't care about flagellantes, don't care about mark teams, just spam stress, enjoy myself, but it looks like we're not going to be having the pleasure of that for today. Anyway, hope y'all enjoyed today's video. As weird as it was, this is going to be probably like a shepherd doggy, but he doesn't get to play. Yeah, but anyway, hope y'all enjoyed it regardless, and I'll see you again another time. Cheers.